Welcome back to SubBrief's Naval News. Today we're going to talk about all the deployments happening around the globe with the U.S. Navy, starting in the South Pacific. A very special deployment's happening down here with USS Nimitz. She's scheduled to be decommissioned next year, and if that doesn't change, that'll make this her final deployment. She's been in service for just over 50 years now, and it's been a historic career for her. And this type of deployment around South America is often seen from the American sailor point of view as a reward. It's the closest thing we ever get to a Carnival Cruise Line type of port visit, celebratory type of deployment. That's a lot of fun, has a lot of naval exercises. We're working with our partner navies down there from Chile to Peru, Argentina, Brazil, anybody that wants to participate. There are many different invites out there for what is this year called Southern Seas 2026. And this is a regular type of deployment we send down there. The Nimitz is getting it appears to be, as a reward for 50 some years of service. So it's not just a reward for the crew, but also the ship itself to say thank you. And it also serves the purpose of conducting Southern Seas 2026 interoperability exercise with our partners down there. This will likely be our final deployment. It's been a hell of a career, and I love celebrating it and seeing it celebrated in this way. Congratulations to everybody on board who's getting to enjoy what we called a Unitas deployment. It might have a different name today, but that's what it used to be known as. All right, let's move over to the South Atlantic, and going into the Indian Ocean is the George H.W. Bush. This is Carrier Strike Group 10 out of Norfolk, who is going around Africa to enter the AOR off the coast of Iran as part of a CENTCOM deployment, conducting a blockade right now of that area of water. She is accompanied by Destroyer Squadron 22, specifically 3 ships from that squadron: Donald Cook, Ross, and Mason, are providing air defense and air coordination of the carrier as she makes her transit and during the deployment as well. Tactical Oiler Arctic is with them, providing resupply, oil, food, and other logistical support to the fleet as they make this transit, and will be there for the full deployment as well as she goes around Africa. This is a tactical choice that the U.S. Navy made to not go through the Mediterranean and go through or around Africa instead of going down through the Suez Canal for obvious tactical reasons. The Houthis there have threatened to attack shipping again, and this simply circumvents that entire situation by going around it. One of the demonstrations of the many capabilities that the U.S. Navy has, we have very long legs. We can go anywhere in the world quite quickly, and this is just a demonstration of that. Let's head up to the Arabian Sea, where things are happening off the coast of Iran again. We now have a blockade going on there, being enforced by Carrier Strike Group 3. That's the Abraham Lincoln Carrier Strike Group. And they're accompanied by a Marine Expeditionary Unit on board USS Tripoli and her accompanying vessels that have about 2,500 sailors and Marines total on board. I told you guys about a month ago, if you remember, that the United States Navy in the Arabian Sea is the final goalkeeper for who gets to come and go out of the Persian Gulf. There were many comments that told me that you guys didn't understand that, so this is a demonstration of how that's being employed. Yes, Iran has blockaded the Strait of Hormuz. Well, good for them. Everybody that comes out of the Persian Gulf through the Strait of Hormuz ends up in the Arabian Sea, because we are the final judge, the final goalkeeper on who gets to come and go out of that area. We have blockaded the blockade, and it's brilliant. And it also shows how the geographical advantage that Iran has is limited by its own geography. Our Navy has the extent to blockade and dictate who gets to come and go from the Persian Gulf. What's happening right now is every ship that is not Iranian flagged or has Iranian product is being allowed, or has general goods, is being allowed through the American blockade. Every single one of them is getting to market. The only ships that are not being allowed to market by the U.S. Navy are Iranian flagged ships or ships with Iranian product on board. So far, 12 ships have been turned back towards Iran for having Iranian product or Iranian flagged ships. One ship coming from China is transiting through the Indian Ocean trying to get into the Persian Gulf. the U.S. Navy stopped that ship last night. So no shots have been fired. No one's been boarded. The captains of these cargo and oil tanker ships are complying with the U.S. Navy blockade. Let's move over to the Westpac, talking about China. We have another Marine Expeditionary Unit that's transiting the Pacific Ocean right now. Here you can see kind of a highlight reel of some of the Boxer Marine Expeditionary Units, sailors and Marines working together and training, working up as they go towards probably active combat in the AOR off the coast of Iran. This is going to be the second Marine Expeditionary Force that enters the AOR, and they will be deployed should ceasefire talks not succeed. We're going to have 2 MEUs, 2 Marine Expeditionary Units in theater with the U.S. Navy, possibly 2 aircraft carriers if after the George H.W. Bush gets there, and if the USS Ford does not leave the AOR, that will be 3 total around from the Mediterranean side and from the Indian Ocean side. It is a large force, one of the largest I've ever seen since maybe 1991 in that theater. And we'll see what happens. They're due to arrive in about 2 weeks. So as you can see here, we are conducting a blockade of shipping coming through from the Persian Gulf into the Indian Ocean with one of our many fleets, while we're doing many other things at the same time. The U.S. Navy is using, I estimate, about 15 to 20% of our total deployed assets to conduct this blockade, while doing many other operations around the globe at the same time. We're capable of fighting a war, winning it, enforcing a blockade, chewing gum, and deploying around the world all at the same time. Now, I do want to address one thing. For many years now, this channel has depended on the State Department and the Pentagon for information, accurate information, to provide to you in these naval news updates. Recently, in the past 2 weeks specifically, I've had to narrow that down a lot because things that are coming out of the White House and even the Secretary of War have proven to not be correct. Clearly, and I believe that they know this, I think they're actively lying to us, and that doesn't surprise many of you. But when the Pentagon puts out incorrect information, I believe intentionally, that's a real problem. So I am focusing now my information to strictly the armed service members like General Kane and Admiral Brad Cooper here, using their updates to give you more accurate information with less spin and less of a political flamboyancy, if you will, that has proven to be quite untrue. So as of right now, on Monday, we started a blockade of essentially the Persian Gulf, but we did it through where Pakistan and Iran meets on the shore side and then down to Oman. This is outside the Persian Gulf and outside the Strait of Hormuz, and this makes sense to do it here because there are Iranian ports outside or south of the Strait of Hormuz. Like Jask is a major oil export terminal that ships can go to and never have to go through the Strait of Hormuz to begin with, and then still make deliveries. So we are essentially blockading the entire coastline of Iran by putting our blockade here where you see the red line up there. And this blockade has been successful and been respected by tanker captains and cargo captains as they approach this line. Every single ship that is not Iranian flagged or carrying Iranian product is being allowed through and going to market. That is important for everyone to understand. The only ships, and it's been a handful of ships that have been stopped, and they have all complied without being boarded, without shots being fired, simple radio communication, and they've turned around. As of this morning, and I'm recording this on Thursday, there are 12 ships from the Persian Gulf side that were successfully turned back without incident. One ship coming from China has been coming through the Indian Ocean and attempted to transit the blockade into the Persian Gulf. That ship was turned back as well. Total of 13 ships, according to the Pentagon, as of this morning. We'll update you whenever they do the next briefing, which I expect that to be next week. So expect an update on that. So right now we do have an active blockade. Some of you will say that this is an act of war, and therefore we are now formally at war with Iran, which requires congressional approval. You are not wrong about that, but I don't think America is playing by those rules right now. I look forward to seeing your comments on that. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye.